Hello, everyone, and welcome. If you're here, it's probably because you're wrestling with choosing the right educational path for your child. Just like many of you, I went through this exact process myself. I still remember the stacks of brochures, the countless online searches, and the feeling of really being overwhelmed. That's why I created this resource to cut through the noise and provide clear, unbiased frameworks to help you make informed decisions. Today, we are diving into the big question: IB, IGCSE, CBSE, or ICSE? Which board is the right fit for your child? Before we dive into the details, let's take a quick look at what we'll cover today. I've organized this video to take you step by step through understanding each board, comparing them side by side, and eventually giving you kind of a framework to make this decision for your family. By the end of this video, you'll hopefully feel much more confident about which education path might be right for your child's unique needs. Now, before we compare specific boards, let's understand why this decision actually matters. Firstly, each board has a very distinct philosophical approach. Now, while some focus on holistic development, others might emphasize academic excellence and standardized outcomes. Second, teaching and assessment methods vary dramatically. From project-based learning to exam-focused evaluation, they're very, very different. Third, different boards offer varying levels of global recognition and university pathways, which might be crucial depending on your family's future plans. Then there is a significant difference in how much subject flexibility is offered versus very structured learning pathways. And finally, perhaps most importantly, your choice will influence your child's development beyond just academics, affecting their mindset, their skills, and just a basic approach to learning. So understanding these differences helps clarify why this isn't just an administrative decision, but one that really shapes your child's educational journey. All right, now let's look at each board individually. Let's start with the International Baccalaureate, or IB. What makes IB distinct is its inquiry-based, student-centered approach. So rather than focusing solely on content knowledge, IB encourages students to ask questions and drive their own learning. The IB diploma program has unique core components. There's theory of knowledge, which explores basically how we know whatever we know. Then there is CAS, or Creativity Activity Service, which promotes development outside of the classroom. And then there's the extended essay, which is actually a 4,000-word research paper that prepares students for university-level writing. Now, IB requires students to study 6 subject groups, ensuring a balanced education rather than early specialization. Now, this can be either an advantage or disadvantage depending on your child's preferences. Assessment in IB combines internal assessments throughout the course with final examinations, providing multiple opportunities for students to demonstrate their understanding. Perhaps most distinctively, IB emphasizes global mindedness and critical thinking. Now, students aren't just learning facts, they're developing frameworks for understanding complex global issues. Next, let's explore the International General Certificate of Secondary Education, or IGCSE, followed typically by A levels. Now, unlike IB's balanced approach, IGCSE allows for more subject-specific focus. Students can choose from a wide range of subjects, potentially specializing earlier in areas that they're interested in or they're strong in. The IGCSE system follows a two-stage approach. IGCSE certification, typically followed by A-level exams for the final 2 years. This creates a very clear progression path for your child. Now, assessment is primarily through external examinations at the end of each course, with some subjects including coursework components. Now, this can be beneficial for students who perform well under exam conditions. Now, IGCSE places strong emphasis on the practical application of knowledge and skills. Science subjects, for example, incorporate substantial laboratory work. One feature parents often appreciate is a flexible pathway design. Many IGCSE subjects offer core and extended options, allowing students to study at different levels of complexity based on their ability and, of course, their interests. But during my own research phase, I was particularly drawn to this flexibility as it allows children to challenge themselves in their stronger subjects while managing expectations in other subjects. Now, let's look at the two Indian boards, CBSE and ICSE. The Central Board of Secondary Education, or CBSE, offers a structured, standardized national curriculum that's consistent across schools. Now, it provides a strong foundation in fundamental concepts with very clearly defined scope and a sequence of topics, subjects. And the Indian Certificate of Secondary Education, or ICSE, places more emphasis on language, arts, and sciences, with a reputation for academic rigor and really deep understanding of concepts. Both boards incorporate Indian context, making them particularly relevant for families considering higher education for their children in Indian academic institutions. Assessment includes regular school-based evaluations plus board examinations. Now, the recent reforms have also introduced more continuous assessment methods in both these systems. So these boards are widely recognized within India, certainly, and provide excellent preparation for Indian university entrance exams. However, international recognition varies and may require additional steps if your child plans to study abroad. From speaking with other parents, I've found that these boards offer academic excellence with a familiar structure, which can be reassuring for many families. Now for the comparison that brings it all together. Looking at teaching approaches, now IB takes an inquiry-based approach, and IGCSE emphasizes practical skills, while CBSE and ICSE follow a more structured, knowledge-based model. When it comes to assessment styles, they differ significantly. Now, IB balances internal assessments with final exams. IGCSE relies predominantly on external examinations. CBSE and ICSE center around board exams with some internal components. For global recognition, both IB and IGCSE are excellent worldwide, though certain countries and universities may prefer one over the other. CBSE and ICSE have strong recognition in India, but may require additional steps for international university applications. Now, subject flexibility varies as well. IB ensures breadth across 6 subject groups. IGCSE offers high flexibility with potential for early specialization. And CBSE and ICSE provide moderate flexibility with a more structured progression. Time commitment is another crucial factor. IB is known for its rigorous workload. IGCSE ranges from, let's say, moderate to high, depending on subject selection. CBSE and ICSE maintain a moderate, manageable workload for most students. Now, the bottom row identifies which students might thrive in each system. Again, this isn't about which board is the best. It's about which is best for your child's learning style, their strengths and their future goals. So beyond comparing features, I've developed a simple framework of 4 questions to help you make this decision more personal to your family situation. First, consider your child's learning preferences and strengths. Is your child an independent, curious learner who thrives with open-ended questions? Or do they prefer clear structure and defined expectations? Be honest about how your child actually learns, not how you wish they would learn. Second, what are your family's geographical plans? Will you be staying in India long term, relocating internationally, or is it still uncertain? Now, this impacts which recognition factors matter most. Third, what university and career pathways might your child pursue? Now, different boards prepare students differently for various higher education systems and entrance requirements. Finally, what values and skills are most important for your child to develop? Is it critical thinking? Is it cultural connections? Academic excellence? Technical skills? Now, no board can optimize for everything. So priorities matter a lot. Now, I myself remember sitting with these questions, and they help clarify what actually mattered to our family situation. Now, your answers may lead to a different conclusion than mine, and that's exactly the point of this exercise. Now, before we wrap up, let's address some common myths I encountered during my own research. The first is that the most expensive boards automatically provide better education. The reality, see, quality depends on school implementation, the teacher training, and how well the approach matches your child's needs, not just the fee structure. The second one is that international boards are always better for university admissions. Actually, universities look at results within the context of your educational system. Excellent CBSE results can be more valuable than, say, mediocre IB results. The third myth is that changing boards later is impossible or traumatic. Now, while transitions require adjustment, thousands of students successfully change boards each year. The adaptability skills gained can actually be more valuable. The fourth myth is that your board choice determines your child's success. In reality, parental involvement, school quality, and the child's own motivation are far more stronger predictors of success than which board you choose. And the fifth and final one is that one board is universally best for all students. Now, this is perhaps the most pervasive myth. Different children thrive in different environments. What worked for your neighbor's child or even your older child might not be right for this child. I wish someone had debunked these myths for me earlier in my journey. It would have relieved so much unnecessary stress and pressure. Just to mention, this video provides general information only, not endorsements of specific boards. So curriculum details, costs, policies may change over time, so please conduct your own research before making any decisions. I'm merely sharing my personal perspectives and experience, and I, of course, do not represent any organization. Now, if you found this framework helpful, you'll definitely want to catch the next video where I tackle the questions I receive most frequently from parents. Is an international board actually worth the investment? I'll be sharing some perspectives from my research with over 50 parents who have made these decisions. And I'll include topics like real cost breakdowns that go beyond just tuition fees, examining hidden expenses, and really long-term financial implications. What are the various career advantages? There are certain perceptions which I'll aim to separate from what the reality is. And long-term outcomes from my extensive parent interviews, including some really surprising findings about university admissions and career paths. And finally, a practical framework for assessing value based on your family's specific priorities and circumstances. Now, this has been one of my most eye-opening research projects, and I really can't wait to share these authentic parent perspectives with you. See you later.